Organised chaos. That pretty much sums up what Liverpool's game looks like under Jurgen Klopp. But organising chaos and using it to your advantage isn't just about daily grind. It also means you need the right kind of players who add that calm and control, making sure it's the other team that feels the chaos and not yours. When Klopp came in, it was chaos without the control, with games turning into a non-stop action from one end to the other. But as time went on, Klopp got his hands on the players he needed to bring in that control into the team. You might be thinking about Gini Wijnaldum, or maybe you're guessing it's about Trent Alexander-Arnold moving into the midfield, but that's not it. We're actually talking about Liverpool's central defenders this season, Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate. These two are easily among the top defensive partnerships in the world right now. Surprised? Well, don't worry, we're going to explain everything. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and let's get into what makes these two the best in the world at what they do. It's pretty much become a given these days that to win in the Premier League, you've got to have the top defense in the league. At least that's how it's been for the past 4 seasons. City bagging the title 3 times in a row, and Liverpool, who took the crown in the 2019-20 season, both had the least goals scored against them during their winning campaigns. For instance, the Reds let in 33 goals from an expected 37.7 in their title-winning season, with Virgil van Dijk being the main guy holding it down for Jurgen Klopp at the back. Let's kick off with what Van Dijk brings to the team, but first we need to look at how it all started. Right from the get-go, Jurgen Klopp was all about the aggressive, heavy metal style of football. On the attack, this worked out great, with the Reds netting 63 goals in the 2015-16 season, but almost every match turned into a wild back and forth battle, and without the right players in the defense, Liverpool ended up conceding 50 goals, same as the 2013-14 season, the most since 1994. Nothing much changed the next season, even though Klopp managed to get a top 4 finish. It was still the defense that was the biggest headache, giving up 42 goals in the league. Until came the 2017-18 season. For the first half, Liverpool was stuck in the same old rut, letting in goals at an average of 1.16 every 90 minutes for the first 25 Premier League matches. But then January 2018 rolled around and Virgil van Dijk landed at Anfield. Suddenly, things looked up. With Van Dijk on the pitch, the rate of goals Liverpool conceded dropped dramatically to 0.69 in the last 13 games. Plus, they made it all the way to the Champions League final. Coincidence? We don't think so. The next couple of seasons were golden for Klopp's Liverpool, bagging the Champions League in 2019 and finally clinching that Premier League title in 2020. Van Dijk's arrival wasn't just a lucky charm, it was a game changer. So what's the big deal about this guy? Firstly, Van Dijk is a literal physical specimen. It's not every day you see a defender who's not just tall, we're talking 1.95 meters, but also as fast as the forwards he's up against. During the 2018-19 Champions League, Van Dijk hit speeds of 34.5 kilometers per hour in the game against Barcelona. No one else on the team came close. But it's not just about his speed and size. Van Dijk has this knack for sniffing out trouble before it happens, always staying a step ahead of the attackers. This skill has been key to Liverpool, keeping their defense tight, especially with their strategy of playing high up the pitch. Adding to his arsenal is a top-notch ability to play the ball, making him the complete package for a modern-day centre-back. No wonder he became such a key figure for Jurgen Klopp after a couple of challenging seasons. Unfortunately, the Reds hit a snag when Van Dijk suffered a ligament tear in 2020, and with both Joe Gomez and Joel Matip also sidelined often, Liverpool found themselves in a tight spot, especially since Klopp had to resort to using midfielders like Henderson and Fabinho as makeshift centre-backs. So, in the summer of 2021, Liverpool was on the hunt again, this time setting their sights on RB Leipzig from the Bundesliga. They had the choice between Dayot Upamecano, a name on everybody's radar, and Ibrahima Konate, who wasn't as much in the spotlight. Clearly, Liverpool went for Konate, forking out about £36 million for him. Konate had made a name for himself at Leipzig as an assertive defender, not afraid to step up into midfield to press the opposing forwards. He was also cool under pressure, capable of threading through the passes to break the lines. In his debut season, Konate was limited to just 11 Premier League appearances, given it was his first year in England, and with the return of Van Dijk, Matip and Gomez, this was somewhat expected. But Klopp, known for his exceptional man management skills, showed faith in Konate Konate during the Champions League. He became a regular in the competition, featuring in 8 games, 6 of which were in the crucial knockout stages. You'd think Konate would start to feature more regularly in the following season, right? Well, unfortunately, that's exactly when luck turned sour with injuries, denying an early start to this defensive duo. Starting off with a knee injury early in the 2022-23 season, followed by a muscle problem later on, Konate found himself playing in only 5 of the first 25 Premier League matches. This sparked a lot of second guessing. Did Liverpool pick the right defender from Leipzig? Was Upamecano the better choice? These doubts, however, didn't last long. After regaining his fitness in the latter stages of the campaign, Konate began getting more game time last season, playing more and more alongside Van Dijk in a period that coincided with Liverpool showing signs of improvement in what was the otherwise a lackluster campaign. Now hear this out. Since his arrival in 2021, Konate managed to share the pitch in league matches with Virgil van Dijk just 21 times. But whenever this pair teamed up, they demonstrated a seamless partnership. What if we told you that this season they're on track to match, if not exceed, their previous appearances together? Indeed, Konate and Van Dijk have already teamed up for 19 league games this campaign. It's clear now they're finally living up to their potential. With this duo starting games, Liverpool has tasted defeat in only one game this campaign, which came against Arsenal at the Emirates. No, Konate did not start that Spurs game. Do you know what's more impressive? Van Dijk and Konate's unbeaten run began a year ago, right after a 4-1 loss to City in April, proving that Liverpool is a tough nut to crack with both of them on the field. Why is that, you wonder? Well, let us explain. As we've pointed out before, both players are not just physical forces to be reckoned with, they're also top-notch defenders, and that hasn't changed this season. Playing with a high line like Liverpool's, you'd think they'd be constantly vulnerable to counter-attacks or long balls over the top. But in truth, the Reds are actually ranked 5th for the lowest expected threat faced, allowing only 1.20 XTA. Sure, a lot of that success comes down to Klopp's genius counter-pressing system, which hardly gives the opponents a chance to exploit spaces on the break, but let's be real, none of this would work if it weren't for Van Dijk and Konate holding the fort. Van Dijk is back at it, showing off this kind of form that helped Liverpool clinch titles. This season he's been unplayable, earning once again the shouts of being one of the best defenders in Premier League history. No player has managed to dribble past him yet, and when it comes to the aerial battles, he's in a league of his own. No other central defender in the top flight has outjumped him. I mean, how could they? Van Dijk has won 112 aerial duels this season alone, boasting a win rate of 84.2%. And Konate, he's the perfect match for the 32-year-old Van Dijk. If you're not convinced, just take a look at this graph. Blessed with a top speed that nearly matches Van Dijk's, Konate's is at 33.91 kilometers per hour to Van Dijk's 34.23 kilometers per hour. They work in perfect harmony to compress the play, confident in each other's ability to provide backup with their athleticism. Opposition forwards aiming to steer clear of the physical challenges or speed contests against Liverpool's skipper often targeted his centre-back partner instead. But now, that strategy is pretty much pointless, with forwards having to deal with 2 defensive juggernauts. Konate has the physicality to ensure he's not seen as the easier target among Liverpool's central defenders. In a recent 4-1 thrashing of Chelsea, the 24-year-old showcased his assertiveness, stepping into the midfield to challenge for the ball. Ranked in the 87th percentile for tackles with an average of 2.14 per 90 minutes, his aggressive approach is a key reason Liverpool can keep their opponents pinned back. This duo's blend of physical prowess and speed means they're not just stopping goals, they're preventing counter-attacks from happening. Thanks to them, Liverpool boasts the second best defensive record in the league, with only 25 goals conceded against an expected 32.9. But hold on a second, Van Dijk and Konate aren't just fortifying Liverpool's defence, they're also improving their attack. How, you're asking? Well, it's their ability to deliver precise long-range passes that comes in handy against teams that pack in the middle, offering Liverpool an alternative way to break down the compact defences. With just one well-placed long ball, they can instantly open up the game, stretching out the teams that pack their defence. Want a recent example? Do you remember Van Dijk's pre-assist for Darwin's goal against Brentford? Many thought he was just clearing the ball, but in reality, he was picking out Diogo Jota to spark a counter-attack. This has been a recurring theme this season, with Liverpool often opting for direct balls over the defence to exploit Darwin's run behind the lines. With Van Dijk and Konate's laser-sharp accuracy, This tactic has become a go-to for Klopp, especially when the usual build-up play isn't clicking. Both defenders are not just participating in the game, they're making decisive contributions, ranking above the 90th percentile for passes attempted. This shows just how much they're involved in the play. But even more impressive is the nature of their passing. Virgil van Dijk averages 4.70 progressive passes per game, yet Konate edges him out with 5.06 progressive passes per 90 minutes. They're not only integral to the team's build-up, but are pivotal in pushing Liverpool forward on the pitch. This aspect of their game became crucial, especially after Trent Alexander-Arnold's injury. Liverpool missed that creative spark from back without Trent, a gap that was particularly evident in the tight 1-0 victory over Nottingham Forest in the league. After a lackluster first half, Van Dijk and Konate took it upon themselves to help Liverpool seize control. With Joe Gomez shifting to centre-back, Konate had the freedom to advance higher on the right, where his ability to break lines with his passes and his ball handling skills kept pressure on Nottingham Forest. Not only that, but his aggressiveness has also been pivotal in pinning Forest back, putting more and more pressure on their defence, which ultimately resulted in their match-winning goals. Most teams boast one centre-back who's all about aggression, stepping up into midfield, and another who shines with ball skills, pushing the game forward. Look at Arsenal for instance. Gabriel's the tough tackler, while Saliba dazzles with the ball at his feet. Other teams tried to combine the two traits in one player, such as an example of Manchester United's Lisandro Martinez. But finding a pair of defenders, both adept at moving forward to intercept, both able to sprint across vast spaces, and on top of that, both technically skilled and ace at advancing play, that's practically a cheat code for Liverpool. Van Dijk was the catalyst behind the success of Klopp's high line, but now with Konate on his side, this high line does not only suffocate opponents, it also gives Liverpool the ability to control that chaos we talked about. It's not a fluke that the team's performance has surged since Van Dijk and Konate began teaming up consistently. Now we've shared our take, but it's your turn. Do you think Van Dijk and Konate form the best defensive duo in the world? If not, who's top of your list and why? What makes your preferred pairing stand out more than ours? Could these two powerhouses drive Liverpool to their second Premier League title? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed our analysis and content, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe button for more. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Poosh.